hi from Australia. Please don't mention Trump. Okay. Who?
It's just fascinating. I just find it fascinating. I'm glad it's not my country. And we had the same shit with Brexit, didn't we? And that's proven.
We've got a
It's that slow train crash scenario. It's just impossible to look away, isn't it?
I know.
I can't have it. I can't listen to him speak, though. It's like Johnson. As soon as he comes on, I have to mute anything. I can't listen to them.
Yeah.
Here's a question. In terms of the bowling, how long do you think until we see some spin?
Well, I'm shocked that we've had 9 overs of seam, to be honest. Mind you, I suppose it is the first morning. I mean, I think as the test wears on, and we have got 3 seamers. I mean, we've had to go into the game with 3 seamers because Moeen isn't there.
Well, it has worked.
And it has worked, yeah. I mean, it's always a bonus, I think, if your seamers get wickets early up in Sri Lanka. I mean, batting-wise, you can get through 2 more wickets. I mean, Angelo's obviously a decent batsman. And then you've got Chandimal, who's okay.
No,
it's a long time since Angelo made any serious runs.
He made serious runs against us last time we were there, didn't he? He made an 80 against us, I seem to remember, in one game.
He hasn't made 100 in Sri Lanka for more than 5 years.
No, but he exactly. But he always does. He's one of these players who always does well against us. I mean, it always happens.
You're paranoid, Bert.
Well, yeah. There's always everyone always. Whenever I've watched cricket for the last 9 years, doing this, 10 years, 11 years, I've been doing this shit now. Everyone seems to get their records against us when I'm watching, and it's a shit show. I mean, they're missing Dan and Jai Silva as well. He's a pretty classy batsman. He got injured in South Africa, didn't he? So, which is a shame.
Yeah. Well, that's what worries me about this series. I think it could be really one-sided. And notwithstanding my reservations about the English batting lineup, to be honest.
Well, yes. I mean, well, this is it. Bairstow at 3.
Yeah.
And you wonder whether England... I mean, I think that England... I mean, I was reading the reports yesterday about, how Silverwood has changed, the whole ethos is, grind out, make sure you get a big first innings score. But if they bowl loads of spinners and it's spitting and doing all sorts of weird shit from day 2, say, England are batting, I think sometimes it's worth being a little bit more aggressive and try and get the runs on the board. And I think Bairstow, that could be beneficial for him. He can almost play his kind of natural game. I think they're having a drinks break.
I mean, my view is that to a large extent England should be regarding the series as a warm-up for India. And do you know what? I don't see Bairstow as a proper test batsman for a series against India.
No, but then you're going to have Stokes back, aren't you? You're going to have Burns back. Crawley will drop down to number 3. Stokes will be back at number 5. Root will be at 4, which means Butler will probably be 6. Gives you an option of having Folkes. I mean, I presume we'll have 2 or 3 spinners in India as well. I mean, they might see how the wickets do, as you say. They're a bit more pace friendly. They have a bit more of a balanced side. I guess we'll have to wait until they get there.
Are they still drinking?
Yeah.
Let me get through some tweets while I'm here. Josie Oak says, with all his coexisting conditions, you'd think Jack Leach would be in a bio bubble all on his own and not allowed within 50 metres of anyone else. Good to see he's back. Dev Daz says, please don't jinx Indian bowling attack, and for God's sake, please don't expect pace-friendly wickets in India. Jay says, Nessens now looks like Emmett Walsh attempting the first Essex spacewalk. Please don't start on the planet. You'll enter your own spheres of gravity. Ben Sly says, listening from Mafra in Australia, Foxtel didn't bother to buy the rights to show this series over here, so glued to you guys. Keep up the great work. Thanks, Ben. Jay says the Bears' solipsism is terrifying. Mayank says, why the hell are they having a drinks break after 1 ball into the 10th over?
Because they have one every hour. What's solipsism mean again? I'm a bit brain dead at the moment.
Yeah, me too. What time is it?
5:32.
Oh, well.
Time is flying by, though. It's good. We've had an hour.
It is.
The view or theory that the self is all that can be known to exist.
Oh, there you go.
Quality of being self-centred or selfish.
I'm not self-centred and selfish. Who's called me that? Who said
Jay.
It was Jay. He's winding you up again.
Of course he is.
Dave
Go and buy
Carpenter
something off
tells
our
us-
shop, Jay. Go on, there's a nice mug there.
He says there's nothing new there.
Defended up to mid-on where broad fields. Wood's coming around the wicket to Kusal Pereira. And I didn't see
Dave
the speed
Carpenter
on that.
tells us that Sophie Cox is his wife.
Okay.
She tweeted in earlier, it's been separated by COVID since March.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
That's harsh.
That is harsh.
This has done...
It's
Crazy
interesting.
damage.
I was looking at Sri Lanka's situation in relation to COVID yesterday, and they're going through a really bad time as well at the moment.
Are they? Yeah. It's these new strains that keep popping up, isn't it? Driven at by Kusal Pereira quite loosely. Gets a big, fat inside half of the bat, which goes out to deepish set mid wicket. Looks like Sam Cohen out there. And it'll be no run.
Teresa, and I apologise if I get your surname wrong, Nilichuk says, OK, imagine how I feel. I'm Britain-Canadian, been affected by both Brexit and Trump since 2016. Let's just talk cricket. I've been metaphorically living above a meth lab for the last 4 years. Teresa, I hope we can help you with that. Not the meth.
Yeah. Wood is in. Makes Angelo Matthews hop a little bit there. I think he's broken his back. Yeah, he has. It's just snapped in half. 91 mile an hour delivery. It's just snapped his bat in half. That's quite crazy.
He wants one of those, one of our bats, doesn't he?
So you guys aren't quite as old as I, but in your youth, do you remember bats breaking in half?
No.
Never happened.
Hardly ever. I mean, occasionally they did, but not very often.
I never had anyone bowl at me at 90 miles an hour, though, Missy.
That's a fair point. But, watching test matches, I don't even, there might be a bit come off the edge sometime, but I never saw a bat breaking in half until I think Rod Marsh in a one-dayer smashed his bat. And that must have been 30 years ago. But before that, they were all Gray Nichols, I suppose. Oof.
Well, he's got a new bat. For some reason, our scorecard isn't working.
That hit him hard.
Yeah, it did. You two keep yapping away. I've just got to try and do something here.
Well, that was a nasty ball. Rose right up at him, got him right on the upper part of the arm. That's going to sting.
That is going to sting. It's just extraordinary over the last few weeks how many arm injuries batsmen have suffered at the hands of bowlers. I don't quite know how it's related to COVID, but the India-Australia series, India have suffered really badly in that regard. But it does seem to me that there's an awful lot of issues in terms of injury coming up. And I don't know, are people just out of practice, or is the bowling getting more ferocious, the pitch is buggered, or what?
Well, it could be out of practice a bit, or discombobulated by the bubbles from COVID. I don't know.
I mean, it's a fair few of them been injured in Australia and South Africa, where the wickets are conducive to hard, fast bowling, isn't it? So, and there's been a lot of short bowling in that India-Australia series. Both sides have been going at each other.
It'd be just a thing.
And Australia's bowling attack is quite lethal. I mean, they're pretty quick. And they're on home ground.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I think in the last Test match there was excessive short bowling by the Australians, which actually didn't no good. But up until then, they were getting their wickets by pitching the ball up.
Well, yeah, but it's the old up down thing, isn't it? Anyway, we got a new bowler. It's this man.
If the pitch isn't good for pace, get this lad on his bowling's ace. But if you need someone who bats, you should just save Dom Best for last.
That's a nasty delivery, eh? Just defended out on the offside and there's no run. Reverse swept and gone. Oh dear. Kusal Pereira trying to be aggressive straight away. He's decided to try and reverse sweep Dom Bess, and he's swept him, got a top edge straight to slip. And oh dear, that's quite poor really, and totally unnecessary. especially when he's one of your better batsmen. Let's give him a jingle.
So,
On your bike, mate.
We've only
so
seen...
there are times to play the reverse sweep, and the second ball to a spinner when you're at 25 for 2 is not the time to start doing it.
No, especially in the
It's
11th over of day 1 of a test match. It's not wise. I was just going to say, I was trying to figure out, whether this pitch was going to be a ragger from day 1. That didn't turn a great deal either. It looked quite sedate, really.
Oh, well, Carper Vinham says, thanks for the commentary from Norway. Brightens up the dark early mornings. You're welcome.
Pleasure.
Mayank says, thanks to Hot Mike for being able to sync this with the TV. Makes this so much more enjoyable. Jersey Oaks moaning, 9 overs in the first hour. It's appalling. And Stuart Adlington's with us from Los Angeles, appreciating the last few days before the Civil War starts here. Yes, there could be some entertaining TV.
Let's see. Yeah, we could get it. By the way, we've been tipped on Hot Mike. Thank you very much, Michael. He says try living in the lab with meth addicts, Teresa. I don't know who Teresa is, but it's obviously not having much fun with the meth addicts there. But thank you very much for your tip. And you can, of course, tip us if you watch us on Hot Mic. And you can sync us to the TV with Hot Mic as well. So you can have us instead of, whoever your local commentator is. You can also Patreon us, which is our favourite way of helping to generate funds to keep this thing on the road. And you can go to GPL, which I should tell you is open. Is £83. And have we had any entries? You haven't entered that, have you, Messi? You waiting to go?
No, I haven't got around to it.
Yeah.
It feels a bit sort of naughty to be entering while commentating. Not that I can affect the outcomes in any way.
If we get your money, we don't care.
Exactly. Well, you've got an hour. That's open till lunch. So guess the amount of runs during the day that will be scored in the entirety of the day. Don't have to worry about wickets, just the amount of runs. If you get it correct, you win what's in the pot, which is £83.
Well, Hombre Nevo is asking if GPL's on, and yes, it is, Hombre.
It is indeed, yeah. Next man in is defending the ball back down the track, and there ain't no run. And who is the next man in? They haven't told me yet. According to our list here, it should be Dinesh Chandimal. But since they haven't got it up on the screen, I can't tell you, and I can't see his back. And he's under a helmet, so I can't tell.
Either.
No, they do. It is Chandimal. It's defended up to mid-off, and there's no run. That's giving you his jingle. Sounds a bit like this.
Chandimal, unstoppable. Except they suspended you over 8 Ballyhoo. In T20, you lost the captaincy. Oh, Chandimal, you're unstoppable.
Defends his next ball back up to mid-on. There's no run. It's quite fun when you go play get teams out you haven't played for a while and you remember all those jingles. It's all good fun. Bess is in over the wicket to Chandimal. That's a decent ball. Good revs on the ball. Good pace, 54 miles an hour. Good dip. And Chandimal just plays it from the crease out to the leg side. And there's no run. 25 for 3 after 11 overs. Poor start from Sri Lanka.
Well, Andy Young says 2 balls of spin and a wicket. What a start!
I know. And two wickets with Seam up first ball, first up as well. There's the fort on the telly. Stan.
Credit to Bess. Bess is right on the spot from the word go, even though it doesn't seem to be turning a lot yet.
Well, this is a chance of Bess to shine, isn't it? He did all right in the English summer, but in England you're always kind of a stopgap. You get a chance to ply your trade properly once you go to the subcontinent. Stan's watching from the USA. He says 3 down before bed is a great way to start. That is true. It is good. Well, Wood comes up to the crease and Matthews pulls away, which is probably not good for Wood's ankles. And he's pointing
his
behind.
fetlocks, you mean?
Yes, well, exactly. Angelo Matthews is the third highest test run scorer for Sri Lanka. I don't know if I presume that's all time because he played 18 matches there. Averages 47.85.
He had a great time in New Zealand a couple of years ago, as I recall.
Yeah.
Couldn't get out.
I've been informed. Michael has told me about who Teresa is. Teresa was a tweeter, apparently. So that's clipped off his hip. There is a leg gully for Wood, but Matthews beats him, and he played it into the ground anyway, and it's gone down to long leg for 2 runs.
She's a YouTuber.
Oh, she's a YouTuber. He says, I thought she was from Canada, and she said she was living above the meth lab. He says, don't type when you're tired. Well, you can type whatever you like, Michael.
She was metaphorically living above a meth lab, she said. We know what she means.
No, well, the local wildlife is storks, not hadidas. I presume they're related.
Well, they're birds.
They're birds. They both got long beaks, yeah. They look stork-like. This is good pace from Wood, and it looks like it's troubling Angelo, but it doesn't look particularly comfortable. Defends that, hops a little bit, but defends it back down the track, and there's no run.
This Sri Lankan side is really up against it. I mean, after such a thrashing in South Africa, they don't look like they're looking forward to playing more cricket, to be honest. And the England team, I suspect, are busting out of their skin to play some cricket after being holed up for so long. So, apart from anything else, I think there's a real problem in terms of one-sidedness.
It's got to be more comfortable playing at home in this situation, though, isn't it? You know, at least you're in familiar surroundings. That's a decent ball arrowed in outside off stump. Well defended by Matthews, and good timing. Straight back inside Stuart Broad, who's quite wide at mid-off. It slows up in the outfield. The outfield looks quite long, pretty green. And they'll get back for 3, I think. They do indeed. She'll bring Chandimal on strike.
I mean, we talk a lot about pitches and whatever else, but I mean, if you bowl well like England have done this morning, I think you'll get wickets regardless. A lot of the time.
To be fair, the first wicket and the third wicket were both really poor batting.
Yeah, but it's poor batting made by decent bowling.
Well, to a degree, I mean,
they're not well. You know, we're not talking about Smith here and whatever else, are we?
Yeah, but I mean, there was a leg slip, and he'd been in all the time for.
Yeah.
Who was it for? Who opened the batting? It was Thirimani, wasn't it? And they put in a leg slip for him, and he'd been there since the start, and only for him, and he played it straight to him. So that is quite poor.
Yeah,
another arrow straight delivery. Up around 90 miles an hour. Defended by Chandimal, and there's no run.
But those decisions are part of him not being Steve Smith and not being as good as. And
that's true.
England playing, to some extent.
Yeah, I mean that's true. But shot selection is so vital if you're going to be opening the batting or early on the batting order.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty fundamental.
Oh, absolutely. It's all part of it.
Wood is in again and defended by Chandimal into the offside, and there is no run.
Let's see what's... the black armband question has been answered. Is that why they're wearing them? Edridge, Jackman and Don Smith?
Yep.
Kia ora, gorillas, says John Appleby, listening from a very warm, sunny and COVID-free New Zealand, where we're allowed to go to bars, restaurants and have human contact and have the #1 ranked test team. How's the UK going?
Beautiful.
Well, this is one thing I was going to actually ask. Is that's left alone outside the off stump by Chandimal, there's no run. Is 120 points for this series? It's 120 points for every series, isn't it, in the World Test Championship? Yeah. So it doesn't matter how many tests, they just get divided amongst that, yeah?
I think that's correct.
They're saying England's got an outside chance of reaching the final.
Well, yes. Yeah, I mean, so if we win these 2 tests, we get 120 points, and suddenly we're up amongst it. That's the interesting thing about a 2-test series. But then we got to go.
It will depend a lot on the series against India.
Yeah. Which I don't hold out a lot of hope for. Got to be honest. It depends, I suppose, how the injuries confer back to India. I mean, last time we played there, I was having a chat with an Indo on the WhatsApp, and he was going, it depends if we win a toss. But it's like we won a toss 4 times out of 5 last time, batted first, got 450, and we all thought that was good. And then India would follow that up with 700 or 650 in their first innings, and we just lost it.
Unlike you to be pessimistic there.
Well, we're not, I don't know if our spinning attack is going to be doing a job. And this is it. As Messi says, that depends on the wickets. If they're more seam friendly, we might have a better chance. We have another change in bowling, and it's this guy.
Coming up, here's a face that I know. It's Jack Leach. Now coming up is Jack Leach. On Jack Leach.
Well, he looks reasonably fit and healthy. First ball is a bit short and wide outside off stump, and a loosener gets cut down to deep point, and there'll be 1 run. Due a change, and probably at the end of this over, Hendo should be back. I'll be taking back to you again.
Wants to know if I'm looking at my neighbour's cat, is Jonesy fucking with the airlock? Jonesy being a reference to obviously the cat in Alien.
Absolutely.
Yes.
My neighbour's cat is here.
He lives with you now, doesn't he? Oh, that's a decent ball. That turned. Chanamol defended it firmly, got an outside half of the bat, which raced past the slips down towards third man. They'll get back for 2.
Here's the weird thing. Cats are weird. So she's asleep on my bed, but she won't go on the bed unless I put down a pair of trousers for her to sleep on. I say a pair of trousers. It could be a towel or something. But she won't sleep on the duvet, top of the duvet. So I've actually currently got her sleeping on a pair of trousers.
Well trained. That turned.
That ball of Leach's turned a lot.
It did. That was a decent ball. I don't expect there to be uneven bounce yet, but the turn is definitely what he'll be looking for. I mean, this is it. If you're a spinner and you're going to the subcontinent, you've got to be thinking, this is my time. And he hasn't played for a while. Again, just a little bit. I wanted to bowl a little bit straighter. That one's pushed out through the covers. There'll be a single. Just needs to get his line a little bit straighter in towards that off stump, so he can't push it so much. Matthew's on strike, 7 off 14. Chanawal's 3 off 9. A 34 for 3 are Sri Lanka. And Leach is in. A little bit short, a little bit wide once more. Bit of a loosener this over. Cut. Lawrence is at point. He fields that. No run.
Jay says he's off to watch Once Were Warriors to remind me these smug New Zealanders can also be fucking shite.
Tossed up again, but again wide of the off stump, and played out to, I don't know who that is on the cover boundary. I was going to say it's Dan Lawrence, but it can't be him, because it's not Sibley. He's in at the slips. I don't recognise the gait of the man on the fence. Peter J does have a point. He says Bess is instantly rewarded for taking a wicket by getting hooked. It's kind of, that's a much better ball. That's an absolute peach. That's where you want to be bowling. Last ball of the over. It's much closer to the off stump, forcing Matthews to come forward and defend. It pitches and takes off and turns past the edge of his bat. Well taken by Butler, and ends that over. None for 5 in his first over. That was a cracking ball.
Well, it's augurs well for England that their spinners are both right on the spot from ball 1.
Yeah, and I imagine they've hooked Best temporarily. I imagine he'll be back as soon as Wood finishes his spell. Hendo's back, but I imagine because they've got 2 right-handers in now, and they want the ball turning away from the bat if it's going to turn sharply.
Well, I shall leave you and catch up with you after lunch.
Okie dokie. Okay, mate. See you later, Messi. Welcome back, Hendo.
Leia says just wait till Leach has gone through his supply of canned baked beans and will have to eat the local food. He won't look that comfortable then.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said for taking beans on holiday with you, isn't there? I'm not sure what, but I'm sure there's a lot.
Damon sent us a picture in of he's out on the deck, sundowner. He's having a sundowner. A lovely picture of his drink with looking over a bay somewhere. I don't know where. Waikiki.
Where is that? Is that Hawaii?
I don't know.
I think it is. Start the new over from Mark Wood. Drops this one in short, up into the armpit of Angelo Matthews, who's rather taken aback and jabs it into the onside. There is no run.
His profile says he's a soccer millionaire. So, Damon, if you've got any spare cash, send it our way.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. We should tell you that we can't do this for nothing. We do need you to help us a little bit and give us some money via Patreon, if you appreciate what we do, especially if you're somewhere out there in the wider world, as Wood is in it again short. This time it's pulled by Angelo Matthews, going up on one leg as he played that. There is Dan Lawrence in the outfield at the square, and his fellow Essex man, Nestle boy, is excited to see him. Whee. Yes, you can help us out. We normally have to pay for a studio. In fact, we do still have to pay for a studio, even though none of us are in it, apart from the bear at the moment. We have to pay for the studio. And your contributions on patreon.com/Guerrilla Cricket help us immensely. If you'd like to pledge us a monthly amount, that'd be great. If you give us $10 a month, it being a US site, effectively, if you give us $10 a month, you go on to our ever-revolving list of wonderful people. In comes Wood, bowls another short one. Down goes Chandamal underneath this one, and through to Butler it goes. Yes, you go onto our revolving name check on the bottom of our Facebook and YouTube pages, so you'll be able to see that. Is it on the YouTube page? Does it go on the YouTube page or just the Facebook page, Ben?
No, it goes everywhere.
It goes everywhere. If you only give us $2 a month, we say, why are you being so stingy? And we're very grateful, actually. But if you want to be on the carousel of names, you have to give us $10 or more a month, and we really appreciate it.
And also,
as Wood is in again, shortish, played down into the offside by Chandamal, wants a single, but Angelo Matthews says, no, I'm getting on a bit in years, and I don't fancy that, so they end up taking no further action. 36 for 3. Sorry, what were you about to say?
Well, I was going to say, we'll go back to patrons. As long as you have Patreon before, stop Patreon and Patreon again, you can get, if you're a brand new Patreoner, we'll give you one of our World Cup t-shirts.
Yeah, you can't get them anywhere else.
You can't get them anywhere else.
The only place you can get
there's a limited
World Cup t-shirt.
And there's a limited number left.